You were talking about the rookie quarterbacks, or the young quarterbacks, the Josh Allens and the Mahomes. Are you surprised this year with the quarterback play, the rookie quarterback play, that the only quarterback that stood out of all the quarterbacks drafted in last year's draft class was Justin Herbert? And what were your thoughts to Justin Herbert in his rookie season?
So I was not on Tua. I didn't like the small scrambling quarterback coming off of a hip injury. That just isn't the way I like going into the NFL, honestly. So I was kind of off of him, which is fine. I didn't see Herbert coming, though. I thought Burrow was going to be more spectacular. And, he really was good until he got hurt, but he wasn't spectacular. I didn't expect Herbert at all because Anthony Lynn is inept. And so, that kind of – I just thought he was – you saw it. Tyrod Taylor got stabbed. That's how he got his job. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't some like the coach made the call. He got hurt because the trainer they hired doesn't know how to do his job. So, like, it did not – I did not see that coming. I did not draft Herbert in my dynasty leagues this year. I went down a little bit, and I went Jalen Hurts, which I was shocked at the end as well as he got in there. I don't think he's as good as he looked last year, though. I think he's a little bit – he's got some maturation to do for sure. I wouldn't just throw him as a starter. I think Wentz is a starter there next year with the new coaching staff, honestly. So
the other end of it was the rookie receivers. This was the best class we saw for rookie receivers. We were talking about Jefferson earlier having a tremendous year. You saw CeeDee Lamb play well when Dallas actually had competent quarterback play. Brandon Ayuk. You saw T. Higgins, who played with Burrow, had a nice year. Jeudy and Ruggs were really the only ones that were a little down from what they were expected to be. But again, the Broncos also had bad quarterback play too, so I don't know how much you can blame on that. So with the rookie receivers this year, who do you think will be the highest drafted rookie receiver? And who do you think has the biggest chance to make a leap into superstardom this year?
Oh, I love that. I think that the first drafted, just kind of looking at the mock draft so far, the data that's out there, it's Justin Jefferson. He's the first one being drafted. And he's being drafted around the fifth round, the middle of the fifth round. So, pick 50. And I understand that. I see that. The next one is Chase Claypool. Oh, so CeeDee Lamb is after him, and then Chase Claypool is in there next, which I think is a little bit high, honestly. I want to say, well, if Juju's gone, then it's not. It's actually a good spot if Juju's gone. I don't know what they're going to do with Juju. I think his contract is up at the end of this year, and they have not re-signed him to his fifth-year option. So it's a sign normally that it's goodbye. But yeah, I think that CeeDee Lamb has the biggest potential. With Dak coming back, he flashed. I mean, that catch against the Vikings is one of my screensavers. That is just like he did this Matrix crazy maneuver. I loved every second of it. And, so he's somebody who I think has the potential to jump up and be more valuable. Somebody who I think, though, you mentioned him earlier, boom or bust. Jerry Jeudy, man. That guy was lightning, or he was a stiff breeze blowing the cloud away. I mean, it was definitive. You saw his talent, you saw his skill, and it's scary when you see it. And then you don't see it again and again and again for a long time. And it's really a scheme, and it's also an offensive, quarterback's ability to successfully operate the offense. And like you said, Drew Lock is not successful right now. He's not doing a great job of mastering the offense. So if they had a competent quarterback, Jerry Jeudy could be fire. I mean, it really, really could be. So that's something just to watch and see what the Broncos do. I don't know what their situation is like, but they didn't make the playoffs. They were terrible this year, and they had great offensive weapons. So, the quarterback was the issue. And the injuries too. I understand it happens, but it's a short lifespan for a quarterback. You don't get that many chances. This is year 2. He's going into year 3 next year. We'll see.
Scott, before we let you go, what are your thoughts in this year's draft? What players or player stands out to you in this year's draft?
I think both of the quarterbacks stand out. Fields and Lawrence. Those two quarterbacks are just franchise. Granted, these are your franchise quarterbacks that you want. This is the next wave of quarterbacks coming in. I'm interested to see what happens. The draft is. I'm never great at picking the draft. I always think it's going to go one way, and then it goes a totally. I had no idea that San Diego was going to do what they did, and how it all went down. It's always interesting. So, but I'm excited to see Trevor Lawrence. That defense is terrible, and so it also means I kind of bought into Gardner Minshew this year, thinking that he would just kind of get the wheels. throw it around, and he's making Bud Light commercials. I mean, you don't make Bud Light commercials like that and then just, not play them, So, but there's just going to be a lot of opportunity for Lawrence to chuck it because his team's going to be sucking. And there's always value in those sucky games where your defense is horrible and you got to shoot. And you're playing, the Titans, who score a lot of points in your division. The Colts, Rivers retired today, but they're going to get somebody in there they're going to score points. That's what they do. They have a good offensive scheme. And even Phillip Rivers couldn't mess that up right this year. So they got Taylor and so that division is going to score points. And so I love that. I want to see that and kind of see what he does there, assuming he goes there. I mean, assuming that's what happens, right? I could totally be wrong. Could be Fields.
I had that same theory on Jacksonville this year, and I drafted DJ Chalk pretty high, and I was let down. So if I do draft him this year, I hope you're right.
Chalk's in the 6th round now, so he, his 6th, 7th round turn. So he's not as expensive anymore.
I think he was 5th in one league and I think 6th in the other when I drafted him. So I was a year ahead and then a year behind, I guess.
I'm always a year behind, but I'm pretty good at fantasy. And when it comes to making picks, I always pick my first 2 rounds. I always pick 2 running backs. Always pick 2 running backs in the first 2 rounds. It just depends on where you're drafting. And usually, if you're in a snake league, you want to pick either first or last. That's what you want to pick. But it's so crazy with the PPR leagues. You can go so many ways. So there's just it's so crazy what fantasy has turned into. It's become really a lifestyle, really for sports and where sports is heading now. And that's why some of these young kids and some of these older retired people that they want to do something, they want to find something to do. Now they have to keep on contact with their baseball, their basketball, their football, their hockey. Everybody's doing fantasy now, even soccer or whatever, European football, they have fantasy now. So it's absolutely incredible. And that's why having you on the show and really talking about Nimble with Numbers and what you're doing right now with fantasy, guys, you have to check out Nimble with Numbers. Go to Nimbles, NIMBILEWTITH, NUMBERS.com. It is a great website. As you know, Scott Simpson, you are great, man. I would love to get you on again. You are amazing. One of the best. And we've interviewed so many people, so many recruits, so many fantasy people, everything, analysts. You are one of the best that we've ever interviewed. You really are.
You brought up John Daigle earlier. We actually interviewed him back in April.
Yep.
Oh, I love him. He's awesome.
Yeah, John was really, really cool. We had a great conversation with him. We kind of threw him a couple of curveballs. So he was really interested in coming. And we're going to have John back on the show eventually as well. But I would love to get you on the show and really be a part of what we're doing with this network and how you're, maybe get something with your fantasy on our website, because we would love to do that as well.
That'd be awesome, man. I'd be honored. Thank you guys for having me on and for, the encouragement. This is, for me, what I love to do. And so it spills out, man. And I can't contain myself. It's what I think about. It's what I care about. I've been loving football so long, and I'm not ashamed anymore. And my wife knows it. She's up there, but so is football. And so
have you ever done a show before?
So I do. I have a podcast that I started this year that runs every Monday night, because we would kind of get on at the halftime of Monday Night Football, run from 9:30 to 11, called the Fantasy Millionaires. And that show is kind of, now that DFS is on, we've transitioned it to being tomorrow. And so I got a show tomorrow, and it's on Periscope. It's on YouTube. So if you look for the Fantasy Millionaires, the FF Millionaires on Twitter, I run that show. And then on Saturday nights, I run a show with Fantasy Space Ghost Force on Twitter. He does the Fantasy Football Discord, and I run a show on there for the DFS slate. We talk through the whole slate. And then after that, I do another show called the DFS Money Shot, where I challenge people in the fantasy community for head-to-head contests on DraftKings. And then at the end of the Saturday night, I do Fast Hard Finish with Bo McBigtime, which is us kind of looking at the DFS and the Millie Maker. And then just now on Friday, we do a new show that we started where it's just me and Bo doing DFS stuff for the upcoming game, the conference game. So it's called Chalk Blocked. And we're having a fun time. Like, it's just all new for me. I don't have any sponsors. I don't have any. I'm just a rookie. I'm one of those rookie.
Pretty good to me. You're pretty damn good to me.
So. Well,
You're
thank you.
really good, man. And in fact, I might want to sit down and maybe bring your show to our network. How's that sound?
Dude, that'd be incredible, man. I'd be honored to be able to talk with you about that. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Why don't you tell the fans how they can find you on social media?
Yeah, so I'm all over there, man. My Twitter is NimbleWNumbers. On Twitter, you can find me at NimbleWNumbers.com. You can find my writer, Bo, at Bo_McBigtime. He writes for me every week. He's on my website at Bo Knows. And then I'm also at thefantasymillionaires.com or FF Millionaires on Twitter. So I appreciate it. You guys are awesome, and I'd love to come on again and talk sports. This is like a perfect day. You know, I get to talk sports with guys. I live in a family of girls. I love ladies. You know, shout out. We got a female vice president. I'm honored. Great, yes. But to talk to the men about football is just something special for me. You know, so I don't have any men here. It's just me. I'm by myself.
Well, we'll definitely talk, because I would love to bring you on our network. You have a tremendous ability, and really what you talk about, you give me more insight of why I should play fantasy even more. So I really appreciate you joining us, and definitely we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. See you next time.